music not loud. Right. But back then, oh man, anytime I was dropping anywhere, you know I was playing AZ. That was my boy right there, man. So that's my number one, AZ.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say the same thing, man. You know, Cannabis was creeping in there, but Cannabis killed 98 too. But AZ, to me, like I told you the story, Armand. Like I went to the barbershop. He was on the Source. I remember he had an orange field jacket on, Yankee Mets, orange Mets field jacket with the flight puffy jackets.
Yeah.
And then he had and he opened up the cover and he had 4 pages, and he had his haircut, his fade. And I ripped the page out the Source. I took it to my barber and I said, I want to look like that.
Just like that.
Whatever he got, give me that. Give me that fade with the waves on top. Like that dude was just amazing, man. AZ was Nas put me on, the AZ, but then it was once I got to know AZ, it was I felt it was more intimate. You know what I mean? I was more of an intimate fan of AZ than I was of Nas, because kind of the world kind of had Nas. You know what I mean? And AZ was kind of if you know about AZ, then you just know a certain code, a certain language. Bougie.
You move a certain
way. Yeah. Just smooth MC, man. So that's it was hard, but he's number one for me too. For that year.
Well, I think you already know what I'm going to put at number one.
Oh, yeah. Punch.
Yeah, so, I'm going with Pun. And Brandon knows the story, but, I mean, for the listeners, I remember it was 9th grade computer class. I think the teacher was Mr. Kowaleski. And I remember my good friend of ours, Kevin, was in class with me. And X was already popping off, you know what I mean? And, we were talking about X, this, that, and the third. And he's like, yo, you got to check out this boy Punisher. And I'm like, Punisher? He's like, yo, listen to me. Puerto Rican boy can spit his ass off. And I was like, all right. 'Cause I remember the joint with the Beat Nuts, off the books and everything. So, I mean, I was familiar with them, but nothing really grasped me at that point, But, I said, okay, I'm going to take your word for it. I went to the wall, you know what I mean?
The Wall.
The Wall,
man.
You don't
know about the Wall, man.
Exactly. R.I.P.
Remember the Wall, Armand?
No, I don't remember.
In the Willow Grove Mall, you had the sticker. You had the Wall sticker. If your tape messed up, you could take your sticker back and exchange it for a brand new tape.
Oh, yeah. I know it was all the way at the end.
Yeah.
Wasn't there Bloomingdale?
Yep.
Yeah, first floor.
It had the chalkboard.
And they had the third floor one, too, at one point. I think they had the first and the third floor.
I don't know about the Wall, man.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Wow.
Yeah.
Strawberries. Remember strawberries? You get your tapes from strawberries?
Yeah, that was downtown, though, wasn't it?
That was on Eastern Road. Oh, your road?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I ended up copping the Capital Punishment joint, and I was just blown away. This felt the first track, Beware. When you just hit with that flawless victory, you niggas can't do shit to me. I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? I knew this boy was a problem. That's the wordplay, and me always being such a fan of G-Rap, it was like the second coming right there in a sense. You know what I mean? Having his that multi-syllable, but was able to magnify and put his own little twist to it. So Capital Punishment, I had love, for up and down, beginning to end, as far as the tracks, and he was on Banned from TV, killed that, Fantastic Four, John Blaze. I mean, every collaboration that he got on, you knew it was going to be a problem. I mean, you even had Nas say, listen, I had to change my verse for John Blaze, but after I heard Pun spit, he's like, he made me nervous. You know what I mean? And how many times you going to hear somebody like Nas, a caliber of his MC, to say, I changed my verse up after I heard Pun shit. He's like, everything I had, I just deleted. You know what I mean? Because he's like, I couldn't be outshined that badly on the track. So, I mean, he definitely was a problem. And I remember, whether this story is true or not, but Bis was supposed to be on Pun's album. And then Joe was saying that Cannabis kind of backed out of it.
Firewater?
No, not on Firewater. No, Firewater was Joe, Armageddon, Raekwon, and Pun. Mm-hmm. But no, Pun and Cannabis was supposed to have an album. Not an album, a song together. Okay. But Cannabis started giving him the runaround after a while. I think after Fantastic Four, I guess, collabo. Because Joe was like, Bis was supposed to be on the album. Then all of a sudden, Bis started returning phone calls. You know what I mean? But definitely Pun was my favorite lyricist of that year, hands down. Absolutely.
Nice. First round done. Round two, we're gonna go with top 3 albums of 1998, and we'll start at 3 and work our way down. And Armand, you can start that off.
Well, for me, mine was Pete Rock Soul Survivor 3.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my joint, man. Like
The first one. First
my
one came.
brother put me on to that. I can't front like I knew about it, but my older brother used to bang that in the car in the crib. I'm like, man, this joint, he had all these different people on there, different legends on that joint with straight fire beats. So I was like, man, I can still, what's so crazy? I mean, I'm sure it's like all in y'all top 3 too. I can listen to these albums now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whatever you're doing, get in the shower, in the car, whatever, you can listen to these albums now like they came out last week. That's how good they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're like timeless. So there's that. But one of my joints is Pete Rock Souls. I could be talking about Pete Rock now. You remember like a couple years ago, I had Pete Rock, his instrumental album.
Yeah.
That was in my car for like a summer.
Peace
Straight,
Instrumentals,
but
yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah.
But it's just straight instrumentals in my car from Pete Rock. So Souls was my number 3. That's a classic to me.
Yeah, my number 3. That's a good one, man. And I feel like too, like the crop of talent, the crop of content was so good that you don't even hear a lot about that album, Soul Survivor.
Yeah.
No,
No,
yeah.
join people who didn't
Down under the radar.
normally.
Right.
Yeah, Chuck Black Dog, OC, that's
I mean, you had the Corrupt John with
Pharaoh.
I mean,
Yeah, so I go my third album. This was really hard, man. But my number 3 was Gang Starr, Moment of Truth album. Man, that album was just like, just on repeat. Like I had the tape. I probably bought like 3 tapes because your tape pop playing too much. Guru. I mean, that probably was like their 4th album at that point. But they were still strong, man. And Primo on the beats. Gang Starr just give you that daily operation. You know what I mean? Like it's just constant groove, consistent, good hip hop. So Moment of Truth was my number 3. Gang Starr.
I'm gonna take it to the West Coast for my third.
Show the West some love. Yeah,
I mean, I'm going with Exhibit 40 Days and 40 Nights.
that was tough.
I remember first what you see what you get in that video when that first came on, and I was so intrigued just by the concept of the video. That's how it was like a day of life. How he's walking and when you walk the Flavor Flav line, there's Flavor Flav right there. So it wasn't your typical hip hop video, So I was intrigued by him. I mean, I knew prior to him, especially when Pac and the Outlaws had dissed him, but never really take to see what he was really about. And then hearing the album, he's a West Coast rapper, but he wasn't rapping like typical West Coast style. Right. I mean, you could definitely hear a lot of East Coast influence in him, and with with the wordplay and everything. I mean, classic cuts on there. The track with him and Raz, 3 Card Molly, Meth is on there as well. I think it was a Pussy Pop John, but yeah, 3 Card Molly probably one of my favorite tracks on that album. But that one, I think the day I bought that was the same day I actually bought the Pete Rock album too. Okay. I think I bought them both. I think they both dropped around the same time frame because they're both loud artists,
right?
At the time, so definitely rocking out with X to the Z with that one for that third album.
Nice. Number 2.
You're too big.
Yeah, but we'll go We'll go in order.
Volume 2, Jay-Z. That was fire to me. Reservoir Dogs. I can't get over that. We talk about that at home for like. We talking about that in a homeroom class for like I don't really remember. I just remember that me and my homies coming home. Like, you remember when you saying we memorized Dean's verse? I mean, who verse did I memorize? I think I memorized everybody's verse.
The whole song.
Yeah.
The other thing was everybody on the joint, and the other one was Bleak. That's when Bleak was hot though.
Yeah, Bleak was hot.
To me, Bleak when coming to age, he was hot on that song. Like, man, Bleak moving. So again, I wasn't back then. I didn't really. Because I was such a Nas fan, it was like I paid homage to Jay-Z, but it was like, you're all right, Jay, you ain't messing with Nas. I was always comparing them so much. I didn't really respect what both of them were doing. Cause I was constantly putting Nas on the pedestal, and I let Jay-Z get up there. But now I look back at it, like, man, the album was classic to me, man. I love it. It's still, like you said, I can play that right now.
Yeah, just for the Nas Nation out there, you know what I'm saying? Nas we haven't been saying his name because he didn't come out with anything in that year. So we're trying to keep it
like mixtape stuff,
right.
But, no official album.
Right. Yeah. So my number 2, it's a tie. I couldn't pick. So.
Oh, we're doing ties today?
I mean, I just it's just one I had to do. You took like a whole round, so.
I know.
You got a tie, honorable mention.
I couldn't pick one, man. So I had to go with N.O.R.E. Noriega, and The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. 2 very different albums, but to me they're classics for the same thing. And that is all you have to do is press play, and there's no whack song on either album. Like Miseducation. I mean that album is damn near like, the whole album is singles. You know what I mean? She had already had her, the Fugees. The score was kind of giving her that. She had that energy coming off of that album, and then the Miseducation. She just mollywopped the game with that one. And N.O.R.E., you already kind of spoke about Nori, but we really had no clue that Nori was like, he had that in him. Like I was a CNN fan. I had the War Report, but like, Capone went to jail, and then it's like, oh man, Nori got his fend for himself. He's coming out with a solo. Like nobody knew. We didn't have any clue that he was going to be like that prolific, and what he was doing. So that N.R.E. album was like, that was for the streets, man. Like that was just a street album, So those 2, that's my tie at number 2.
Well, since you've been in these rules,
nah. we all got one bender. You had your bender already.
All right, you right. All right. I think I'm gonna go with Darkest Hell is Hot for my number 2. I think the first X, I wasn't a big fan of Flesh in My Flesh. I mean, it had the songs on there.
It's kind of rushed.
But that's what I was going to say. This felt rushed. And to me, I think his best chemistry was with Dane Grease, at the beginning. Mm-hmm. That was before Swiss really started taking over the production. Because remember, Swiss only produced 2 tracks on the first album. Okay. Rough Riders Anthem, and I forget the other one. All the other beats I think were majority done by Dame and Irv Gotti.
Irv Gotti, yeah.
So, I mean, to me, that was his best chemistry. And just like I said, just that raw energy, got you amped up. And like I said, it was a transitional phase, because you had Jay still almost in that Biggie lane in a sense, I mean, he still had that street edge, but he still had that floss, that elegance, and there was nothing elegant about DMX at all. Mm-hmm. I mean, just in your face or whatever, I mean, he just showed that softer side, the spiritual side, as well. And then you start seeing that becoming a theme on the albums throughout after that, but. Definitely, I'm going to go with Darkest Hell is Hot for my second.
Respect.
Okay.
Respect. Yeah, so we'll go for your number 1, Armand.
That's a no-brainer for the kid. You already know. Pieces of a Man. You know what I mean? AZ. Yeah. Clocks never stop. It's all the race to the top. I'm trying to freeze time. That's why I like to base on my watch. That was the intro. You know what I mean? So. That album right there is like semi-religious.
Yeah.
To me, it's like my kids. They gonna know what I'm playing when I'm playing that in the crib. They gonna like, oh, that's it. They may not listen to it, but they're gonna know what I'm playing. That's how deep that boy was on that album, man. And that's one of my top albums ever. Not even just 98. That's one of my top albums for me ever, man. Because it's like. Slow was, and you know what? That's the age when I was like young and brash, young and like cocky and like with girls. So that kind of kept me in my lane. Mm-hmm. Like like he said in the song, "It's all messed up in the world. Never hate the next man. Never tapping your girl. Like you never snap on some other dude about something." It was just the way he was talking about stuff was just so cool and such like a smooth pimp, but like a chill dude, man. Like. I was like, man, I was attracted to that. Like, damn, this boy, right? That's why I say music is so powerful, man. Because I kind of live my life off the rules he talked about in his music. I mean, not like with the drug stuff, but just how you move and how you walk. Slim built, strong stamina, 44 nickel plate long with the silencer. I was always trying to run.